Greetings and welcome back to my favorite memories of 2019, where I'm talking about 25 things that really made 2019 special. Let's unlock door number 7 with the remember button. That is over here. We put the remember button here and we will unlock the memory of the music of 2019, my soundtrack. And we'll hit that with the red. And now let's take a look at the elements that I built in this representation. Alright, so here we are. We're going to be talking about the music that I primarily listened to in 2019. And we're going to, in this episode, cover all of the new music that I, quote-unquote, discovered in 2019, or that I listened to in quite a bit. So the first thing I'm going to represent is a band called the Paper Kites out of Australia, and I completely love this band. I cannot remember where I found them. I think I was on Pandora, and I was just I was looking for music for a trip I was taking to South Dakota. So I might have been either doing like a Counting Crows radio or a banjo radio or something like that. And this band was one of the bands that came up, and I just instantly fell in love with their song. The funny thing is, I don't remember which song it was that I initially liked so much. But I can tell you that my favorite album of the Paper Kites is called Woodland. And that is what I'm building here in the background, which is the cover art for the album Woodland. And I liked the band, and I immediately put into Pandora the Paper Kites radio station, and I liked everything that I heard. All of the bands, all of their music, and then all of the music from the bands that came up on that station while I was listening to it, which is just really fantastic to find a band and then find a whole bunch of other stuff that you would like from that same genre or kind of music. On that station, I have a lot of Death Cab for Cutie, Sufjan Stevens, and on that station, I also came across Vance Joy. In particular, I really like his song called The Fire and the Flood. I really like that song quite a lot. And then I also came across the Oh Hellos, which has a song called Hello My Old Heart. Man, that is a good song. That is a fantastic song. And then Iron and Wine, which is a little bit like, I would say, like a Mumford Sons. I'm probably completely butchering what these bands are about and what kind of songs they have. But if you're into music and you know them, you'll probably be like, man, you are not the greatest. Well, but you can say that about me for anything. And anyway, so the Paper Kites led me to the Oh Hellos, Hello My Old Heart, Iron and Wine, Each Coming Night. I really like that song. Vance Joy, The Fire and the Flood, and I could go on, but I'm not going to because I only have a 10 by 10 space to build in. Okay, now prior to listening to the Paper Kites, in actually the end of 2018, I was introduced to a band, an artist, and her name is Regina Spektor. Not a new artist by any stretch of the imagination, but somebody that I had heard the name, but I had never heard any of her music. And I was, for a very long time, I wanted to watch the movie called 500 Days of Summer. And what convinced me to watch that movie was actually a podcast in which a French gentleman by the name of Patrick Beja I didn't have to cheat and look it up. No, no, don't worry. Was talking about that as his favorite movie. That's a was on one of the Frog Pants network podcasts, and man, I love it. It is such a good movie, and in the movie there are some Regina Spektor songs. Us. Because it is a love story, and there's a song called Hero, which is my absolute favorite. And in fact, you might, if you hear it, you might recognize Hero from a little ditty that I performed in one of my last series on this channel. And it was Bongo Tez server, Enough Said server. So this is Regina Spektor's piano from the cover art of her album called Far, which has a lot of really good songs on it. It's kind of supposed to be a blue grand piano with clouds. I think it looks pretty good. Again, representation. And then I'm going to put a mountain or a hill here because they made a statue of us. They put it on a mountaintop. So we're going to go ahead and make a mountain, and then we're going to make the statue of us in this build. And again, I'm going to do it in a minimalist fashion. Made a statue of us, put it on a mountaintop, and then basically the tourists come and stare at it and take pictures, and then at some point they blame us because they've got years of experience. I'm like really I'm really, what do you call it, making short work of the song, but I love it. So what we're going to show here is a person, a statue of a person, two people, and they're hugging right up against each other, and they're going to have their arms around each other. So we're going to go one block higher to make it really look the way it should. Yep, I think that's good. So the woman has her arm down on this side, and we'll put her arm up on this side. Whoops, that's the body. And then the male will have his arm down on this side. So this is a statue of them hugging and kissing. So that is really probably it for this build. Very simple, representative build of new music. Actually, you know what I might do? Let's just make this a little bit more interesting. And we're going to cover up some of this light source here, but not all of it. Oops. Whoops. We'll do it like that, y'all. Like that, y'all, maybe. Yeah, that's good. And when this opens, this will have some light source. And let's go ahead and let's put some item frames on the wall. And let's put up the records or albums. Let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3. We've got more space on this side. So let's go with Regina Spektor, The Paper Kites, Vance Joy, Iron and Wine, and the Oh Hellos. And I can actually move them all one because when the wall drops, I'll have more room. And we'll put an anvil, and we'll go ahead and we'll name a couple records and stick them in there. Disc, yes. So let's go with Woodland. It's kind of a greenish. We'll do Blue for Far. It's Regina Spektor. We'll do let's see, Regina Spektor, The Paper Kites, Vance Joy, Iron and Wine, and the Oh Hellos. There we go, the Oh Hellos. Again, the favorite song, Hello My Old Heart, Iron and Wine, Each Coming Night, Vance Joy, The Fire and the Flood, the Paper Kites, the whole Woodland album, to be honest, and Regina Spektor, pretty much everything. I needed also to say Regina Spektor, she has all kinds of music, but it's all mostly poppy. But man, her voice as an instrument, she can do things in ranges up and down and echoes and bounces and cuts and listen to some of her music like E.T. and a couple other songs. Like, I just love the way she uses her instrument. Some people that are really into music don't like it because it's weird, but man, I love it. And the rest are all fairly straightforward. Take a listen on Pandora to the Paper Kites Radio, and you should get this half of the, or this fourth out of 5 of the songs, and then Regina. And yeah, cool. So that is this build.